brother. It's my pleasure. It's the least I can do. You know, it's your show.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
But we want to spend some time today just, relaxing and getting to know who you are because on so many of your shows, there are such interesting people with great information to share to enlighten our people and enlighten our communities. And hopefully, people will take that information and act on it in a positive way.
Yes, sir.
So, you're a vehicle like that Underground Railroad. You bring the message to the people. So, we'd like to know a little bit more about that railroad,
Okay.
which is
With coach, the revolution will not fight germs that may cause bad breath. The revolution.
BAM. You're watching the Underground Railroad. I am your co host for tonight, Keith McDonald, and we will have one of the most interesting shows that the Underground Railroad has ever had. Tonight, my guest is actually the producer, creator, host, founder of the Underground Railroad that can be seen here every Saturday night at 10:30 p.m. Our guest today is Mr. Clifton Bradley.
Thank you for inviting me on.
Hey, you, the vehicle.
Yes, sir.
So we're going to spend some time tonight talking about or talking with you,
So
Clifton
I'm
Bradley.
sitting in the hot seat this time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How's it feel? How's it feel?
You had some challenging questions. I got to
Well,
get ready over here.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna let you set the pace.
No, just do your thing, man.
Okay. Okay. So, what gave you the idea, Clifton? Since I'm setting the pace tonight, what gave you the idea to want to start this project, the Underground Railroad?
Well, you know what happened is I was a community activist when mentally I became, when I got to a particular stage in my life and mentally could recognize the ills and the vices that were going on in my community. Example, I would see a drug dealer, try to talk to him to try to get him to change his life, realizing that there wasn't a life to lead, and looking at the jail system and helped out politicians. And one day it dawned on me. I was looking at the Million Man March with my father. I said, man, look at this guy, Minister Farrakhan. And it dawned on me, if I'm talking to individuals one-on-one on the corner, I said, if I could utilize the television waves to disseminate information to the people, that may have the ability to affect more than direction. And they have been giving me good counsels, and I give them respect always.
So you started out. A couple of things came out of that are interesting. Um, you started off by saying that you were talking to people on the street or in the neighborhood who were doing things that we know that is not good for their lifestyle.
Yes.
It's not good for their life. It's not a good example for our children and other folks in the community.
Yes, sir.
And then you also mentioned your father. And I'm here tonight because I think this is the first time I'm fortunate to be sitting
Yes, sir.
because that I've heard you mention your father. I know you've always talked.
Go ahead.
No, I talk about the issues and the ills and what we need to do to address them. So I have two questions. You can answer them or not answer them. The first question is, how come you was never a gangbanger or a drug dealer, or you wasn't no pedophile, or you wasn't no pimp? What you got to say? You wasn't one before. And well,
Okay.
I see you want to answer
No,
that, so
go ahead.
I would like you to express that expression. I like for you to verbally express that expression I saw on your
My
face.
father would have killed me.
Well, that ties into my second question there.
Not literally.
Amen. Amen.
But
for your father.
I would have felt the wrath of God.
Amen.
My father would have killed me.
Okay,
man.
well, thank goodness for your father. And the
I'm not worried. I wasn't worried about my mother because my mother couldn't give a whooping like my father.
okay. So tell us some more about father.
Well, he was. My father in general, basically, he was there for me.
Amen.
And I'm not gonna sit up here and say 100% because he had to go out and work and earn a living and to provide for his family.
Amen.
but there was some morals, moral ethics that I got from him. And I ain't gonna talk saying was like he was dead, but he's a good,
Right.
anything I can do for you.
Bam.
But he was a good guy, and he installed some, some good principles. I'm not gonna sit up here and try to lie to the audience and say, oh, he was the best father in the world. Yeah, for guy, I talk to him like almost every 2 days. I don't call him up because I want something. You have some kids that call it because they want something. I call up just to say, how you doing? Applauses.
Okay. Well, don't we all?
Yes.
Hey, don't we all? Now, when are you going to have him down on the show?
Huh?
When are you going to have your father on the show?
You know what? I have asked my father to come on the show, but he's reluctant to come
Okay.
on. 'Cause
All right.
I know he
He's a
might feel-
modest person
Yeah.
and touched on your life too.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are your aspirations now? I mean, I don't know if you're doing any kind of print. Are you doing any kind of radio, or do you aspire to do such?
Once upon a time, me and Michael said now, because I had a radio show at the big gospel station. I think that's 1570. Me and Brother Boise Edwards' son used to do that show. We used to work hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
But my aspirations are to expand on the Underground Railroad, and one of the vehicles that I have used to expand is YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the shows that I have done, I have put on YouTube and attracted a new audience. So it's like I get more response from YouTube than I do from CAN television. I'm talking about in terms of emails and feedback. Feedback means a lot to me.
Right.
It sort of gives me a gauge and a pulse of what the people's hunger and desire is in terms of information. And I have used that, so they can go to YouTube, or they could just put the name Clifton Bradley and punch videos, and they could see shows. And some people say that it's a waste of time, but I don't see it as a waste of time, because it's giving me the ability to disseminate information to a broader audience.
And you get feedback.
Yes, then just being limited
Mm-hmm.
to cable television, which is nothing is wrong with it if it's what an individual wants to do. But I just think the internet is a tremendous tool to utilize to your advantage, to take care of your mission statement out, to get your message or your point of view out. And who knows what it'll lead to. Because I have people emailing me from Europe, Africa, but the feedback means a lot to me.
So you started off speaking with the folks in the community. Sometimes they'd be on the corner. You didn't become involved with that because of the respect you have for your father.
The beat down.
Okay, we'll